Have you ever had a honey-baked ham? It's a food chain that makes the most incredible ham that is coated with a sticky seasoned secret sauce. And I'm going to show you how to make it at home. I'm Christina from It Is a Keeper, and I share tried and true recipes that anyone can make, like this honey-baked ham. The ham is tender and juicy and coated in an incredible glaze, and the leftovers, oh my word, so good. Okay, well, let's jump in and get started. So the first thing we need to do to start our honey-baked ham is we need to make a honey butter glaze. So here I have some melted butter, and to this I'm going to add a few tablespoons of honey. So I'm going to measure this very precisely. That's like 2, and a little bit more makes 3. So I'm just going to use my basting brush just to swirl it all around. Get it combined. Now I am using a spiral sliced ham. You can use a whole ham. If you're using a whole ham, make sure that you go through and score it across the top, and so that all the deliciousness gets down into the meat. Okay, so now that we've got that mixed up, I'm just going to brush it all on the ham. Now notice I have a foil lined baking sheet. That's important. We're going to need that in a moment. So you do want this in a foil lined baking sheet. Or, sorry, baking pan. All right. I mean, it's butter. What could be better? I mean, butter makes everything better. If you want to get it on the front, go for it. All right. So as long as everybody's got a nice coating, you can even pick up some of the extra that fell into the pan. Smear it all on there. Okay, so now we're going to take this foil and we're just going to pull it up and over a little bit. It doesn't have to cover it completely, but just enough to cover it just a little bit. We're going to pop this into the oven for a few hours, and once it comes back, then we're going to make this amazing spice topping to go on it. So while our ham is in the oven, we're going to make the spice mixture that's going to go on top of the ham. So it starts with some brown sugar, and to that we're going to add some seasoned salt, some onion powder, cinnamon, and some nutmeg. Oh, this smells amazing. Love it. Some paprika, some ground ginger, and last but not least, some ground cloves. This smells so incredible. So I'm just going to use this little whisk and get it all mixed up. You can use a fork or whatever. Oh, yum. I love the smell of the clove and the nutmeg. Delicious. Okay, so our ham has finished its first cook. Oh, look at that deliciousness. So good. We're going to use about half of this seasoning blend that we made, and we're just going to put a nice coating all over the top of the ham. It's okay if some of it falls down into that juice. That's not going to go to waste. And maybe a little more over here. Okay. We are going to pop this back in the oven under the broiler for about 4 to 5 minutes. We're going to let that really broil up and get nice and caramelized, and then we're going to come back and make a glaze for it. Okay, so our ham has a nice crispy crust there from our seasonings. Now we're going to take some of this juice out. We've accumulated quite a bit of juice. So I'm going to take about a 1/4 cup of that out. Because we need it for our glaze. Okay. So I'm going to set our ham aside and bring in the cooktop so that we can start making that glaze. Okay, so to our pan, we're going to add that the ham juice that we just scooped out of the pan and the remainder of our spice blend. And we're just going to whisk this until it all comes together and it thickens up nicely. The brown sugar is really going to help it caramelize. All right, so our sauce is looking good. It has thickened up nicely. I'm going to remove this from the heat and bring the ham back in. Okay, so we are now just going to spoon this glaze over top of, look at that deliciousness. Oh, it's so thick and syrupy. Right over top there. Just really sending home all of those spicy flavors that we have in there, the nutmeg and the clove, the ginger. You guys, this smells incredible. And you know, because it's the spiral ham, that it's going down in all those nooks and crannies. Okay, this is going to go back under the broiler for just about a minute or two on the bottom rack, not the top rack, and then we'll be ready to eat. So this is our finished honey baked ham. You guys, this looks amazing. We have that, hear that? The crispy crust from the brown sugar and the spices. I'm just gonna go in here and I'm gonna lop a piece off from the side. Oh, and the sauce went down in between. Look at that, glistening. Mmm. Mmm. Oh, this is so good. You really get the sweetness from that spice mixture and the brown sugar, but then you also get those spices that come through, all that cinnamon and nutmeg and clove. Mmm. You guys, this is fantastic. And you know the sandwiches from the leftovers, are going to be incredible. This honey baked ham recipe is definitely a keeper. Have you ever tried a honey baked ham? Leave me a comment and let me know. And if you want another great ham recipe, be sure to check out my mom's vintage pineapple glazed ham. Thanks for joining me today. You can get the full recipe in the video description below. I'll see you next time. Bye.